My name is Dan Kobussen, President of Kobussen Buses. Thank you all for coming today. We are here to show off some propane buses. But before we get to that, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the partnerships that made this happen. Kobussen Buses has an amazing local staff here in Seymour. Our local staff has worked with the Seymour community schools with their amazing staff, and they've worked great together. With that information from that staff, we've received, the miles of the routes, the time it takes to do the routes, the distances to the furthest schools in the division. And we've taken all that data and we've researched it, and we turned to some of our vendors, some of our partner vendors, Bluebird, Wisconsin Bus Sales, and Roush. And ultimately decided that propane is the way to go. By the way, that Roush, yes, that is Roush Performance. That's the same team that races cars. So these buses won't go very fast. They'll be safe, though. We then looked to our propane provider, Country Visions, who's also here. There's also something maybe missed on the way in. There's a fueling station down at the far end of the buses. That fueling station will work just like any other fueling station. All the drivers will be able to pull up to it and fuel their own buses. We'll also see a savings buying our own fuel and locking in that fuel for a long period of time. So it's helped us save even more money. Kobussen is not new to propane buses. We have almost 200 of them. With this operation, and we've been doing it since 2014, and we've got a lot of experience with that propane, and we think the technology works great. And we feel that this investment in these buses will be a long-term investment, and it will continue to save money day in and day out for the whole rest of time. So with that, well, one more thing. These buses, we had the opportunity, because they're new, we had an opportunity to put some extra stuff on them and look at the technology other than propane. We put a lot of cameras on them. If you notice, there's a camera right in the grill up here. There's a camera facing out the windshield. There's several cameras on the inside to watch the students, make sure we have good discipline on the buses. So cameras everywhere. They also have air disc brakes and electronic stability control. If you're not familiar with air disc brakes, ask one of these Bluebird guys. They'll give you all the information you want to know about it. So we also have lots of LED lights. So again, maintenance is our issue. We want to keep these buses running as long as possible, and we want to keep them efficient, and the less we have to work on them, the better. So we've invested in new buses with new technology that will last the life of the buses, which is about 15 years. With that, I want to have a couple of our partners come up and talk. So first, I'm going to bring up Kelly Bone from Seymour Community Schools. Kelly said she only has 45 minutes, so you guys just be prepared.
I wonder if you're clapping for the 45 minutes. That's good. Good to know. So on behalf of the Seymour Community Schools, I just want to share how pleased we are to be partnering with Kobussen and moving forward with a propane bus fleet for our students and for our communities. We appreciate the initiative taken by Kobussen leaders to seek out this innovative opportunity. I think it truly demonstrates their ongoing commitment to our students' health and safety, which is also championed every day by our bus drivers who play such an integral role in the school experience of our students. And Dan even mentioned additional safety measures on our buses, which I think just really emphasize that point. We feel fortunate to partner with such a forward-thinking company and are looking forward to another great school year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I know we have some drivers that are excited about this school year too, having new buses. It's going to be great. Next up, I'm going to bring up Steve Whaley from Bluebird School Buses. Steve?
Thanks, everybody, and I'll take Kelly's remaining time, too. I'm the Alternative Fuels Manager for Bluebird Corporation, and it's a real pleasure to be here. This is my favorite part of my job, when we get to launch these new school districts into clean transportation. Bluebird's been a trusted name in student transportation since 1927, nearly a century of innovation, reliability, and leadership. We're proud to be the only U.S.-owned and operated school bus manufacturer in the country, rooted in American communities and committed to finding solutions for school districts nationwide. Over the years, Bluebird's built more than 550,000 school buses. Today, 180,000 of them are on the road, delivering students safely every single day. We currently offer 4 powertrains in our buses. Everybody knows about diesel-powered buses, but we also have gasoline-powered buses. We have electric-powered buses, and we sell more electric buses than anybody. And we have propane-powered buses. Since 2008, we've sold more than 25,000 zero electric buses and near zero propane buses, making us the industry leader in clean student transportation. Our collaboration with Roush, which began in 2012, when Kobussen just came in a couple years just after that, and we made our shift to propane-powered buses. And one of the key reasons for our success is our partnership with Roush. Roush's ultra-low emission propane technology is battle-tested, used by more than 3,000 fleets in North America and over 3 billion miles accumulated. Together with Bluebird, Roush, we put together 22,000 propane school buses on the road today. This partnership ensures schools have access to product that is reliable, clean, and, as Dan was mentioning, very cost-effective, supported by decades of engineering experience at Roush. Now, propane, it's safe, clean, and very affordable. And yes, it is exactly the same propane that's in your grill cylinder out on the back patio that you let touch your food, because it's that clean. Today, in North America, more than 1.3 million students in over 1,100 school districts ride to school in propane-powered buses. 100% of those sold today in the U.S. are Bluebird buses. We're the only manufacturer offering this technology. Propane buses produce 90% less toxic emissions than the diesel buses of today. This means our buses are already capable of meeting the EPA's new emission schedule that comes out in 2027 with an ultra-low standard of 0.03 grams of NOx per horsepower. All that to say, propane is now 0.02, which is far less than even the standard that's coming up in 2027. With up to 400 miles of range on a single fueling, propane buses are ideal for all rural as well as urban routes. Kate Cornelius was on my podcast recently, and I haven't found a school district that's larger than hers, as far as geographically. 4,200 square miles that she has to cover in her school district, and she's 100% propane-powered buses. She even does a field trip for her robotics class from upper Minnesota on the Canadian border all the way down to southern Illinois, 1,200 miles, and she does it running on propane because the U.S. has the infrastructure for making those refueling stops. We produce all of our buses in Fort Valley, Georgia, and we drive all of our propane buses to their final destination throughout North America. They run quieter, reducing noise levels by 50% compared to diesel buses. And outside the bus, and the communication is way better. Drivers can hear the students, and students can hear the drivers without shouting. And they can also hear outside noises that help make them better, safer drivers. Diana McKillis in Illinois had another feature that we didn't intend to have with quiet propane-powered buses. There was a little bit of mystery going on there when we had a special needs class that usually takes about 45 minutes to settle down every day, and they get in their classroom, and their IEPs require, noise cancellation on the diesel buses. Well, they were starting to come into the classrooms immediately all calm and settled down. And they couldn't figure out why. And so they were talking to the principals, they were talking to the assistant principals, and finally it got to Diana, and Diana says, oh, that was last Wednesday when we put them on a new propane-powered bus. And that quiet ride made it so much better for them when they got into the classroom. Propane buses have the lowest cost infrastructure, Roger, thank you very much, from country, than any other fuel. Now, we all know that our electric buses need to have batteries charged, okay? And that infrastructure has been known to be a little bit more expensive. Propane infrastructure for fueling, like you see over here, is actually less expensive than a diesel or gasoline fueling infrastructure, because the infrastructure for gasoline and diesel on the ground can leak, and it has a massive risk mitigation that has to take place, because that fuel contaminates soil and water. Propane can't. It immediately evaporates if it gets outside the vessel that it contains. EPA doesn't even regulate a propane fueling station because of that. Propane buses are the lowest total cost of ownership than any of the 4 powertrains. Anthony Jackson's in Bibb County, Georgia, and he's been doing this even a little bit longer than you, Dan. And so he's always been bragging on how much he has saved because of operating on propane buses. So my boss, the smart person that he is, said, you need to do a podcast with Anthony. So I talked with Anthony. We set up a time. Anthony, I hear you're saving a lot of money. And he said, yeah, we're saving a lot of money. Good. We're going to do this podcast and we're going to talk about it. I said, well, exactly how much are you saving? Oh, lots of money, Steve. We're saving lots of money. And I said, exactly how? And he said, I'm not an accountant. I just know we're spending less than we did before. And I said, well, Anthony, give me 2 numbers. How much did you spend on propane for the last year and how many miles did you go on propane? Did that out. It was 39 cents a mile. I said, well, on your diesel, how many miles did you go on diesel? How much does the diesel cost? 66 cents a mile. 27 cents per mile that he was saving. Driving 2 million miles, that's over $500,000 to the school district saved every year. So when we say propane is the lowest total cost of ownership, we got the proof. Bluebird is not just a manufacturer. We're a partner in cleaner, smarter, safer student transportation. With nearly a century of experience, a strong American foundation, and trusted partnerships like what we have with Kobussen and Roush, we're delivering proven solutions for school districts around the country. Thank you for being here.
All right, thanks for that, Steve. And this truly is a family affair. I've got a whole bunch of family members that are in Kobussen buses. That it is a family business. It's a local business to Wisconsin. We're proud of that. And Steve's pretty proud of Bluebird, but we need to bring his son up here and talk about, because his son works for Roush, who's the company that converts the engines. You're going to tell us about the big blocks that are in these things, right?
I'd be happy to. So what's really cool about working in a family business, right, especially with Steve, is to really appreciate a 10, you have to have a 2 go right after, It's like seeing a turtle swim next to Michael Phelps. But no, really, in seriousness, thank you guys so much for being here, and to the Kobussen family. This is my 13th year at Roush, and Jack Roush, very much like all the great, businessmen and how they started, was in a garage, right? Turning wrenches, following what makes technological curiosity, happen. And when we got into this industry, Jack Roush himself, who obviously can't be here, but this is going to go down in his legacy as one of his favorite ventures that we've done with a U.S.-based school bus transportation company that only builds school buses, right? And being able to work with family-owned businesses that, are 4 generations long, that providing not just safe, reliable, but now forefront, doing it, well ahead of their time, clean transportation. And Kobussen shares the values that Roush does, that every child deserves a clean ride of transportation while using a U.S. domestic product. And I also give a shout out to also someone who couldn't be here, is Ford Motor Company. So Roush is very exclusively tied next to Ford Motor Company, and we're, as far as an OEM partner with them. So these are OEM-based vehicles, straight from built in Fort Valley, Georgia, that come here. And over 60% of everything that Bluebird builds now is a non-diesel. So really cool to be partnered with companies that are on the forefront looking, how can we be better, how can we be safer, how can we be cleaner, while still looking and keeping a close eye on that bottom line, on that dollar. So from all of us at Roush, all 5,000 of us, Jack Roush's daughter, who actually races a propane-powered Mustang because it does have a nice high 110 octane, to our partners like Country Vision, we can't do what we do, and then ultimately the school district. This is what public-private partnerships are really all about. And we get to transport the world's most precious cargo, children, safely, affordably, cleaner, and more comfortably. So thank you all very, very much for being here. Thank you, thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Derek. A couple more thank yous, and then we'll get on to cutting that ribbon. Yeah. So just a few shout outs: Webster Capital, Wells Fargo for financing these buses. We've got some insurance folks here from the Hill Group and Acrisure. Thank you guys. Insurance is a big part of our daily business here. As you can imagine, it goes up just like it has at your houses. But thank you guys. Also, the Seymour Business League for supplying the scissors and the ribbon. So if I can have all the Kobussen employees come on up so we can do a ribbon cutting real quick. Kobussen employees. Come on up. Everybody who's Kobussen employee. Come on up. Come on up. We're going to go right across here. Maybe that way with the ribbon. Back. Over there. So we can all... Oh boy. Sure, Sandy. All right, you guys all ready? Big smiles on your face? Should we have somebody start the bus?
Can't hear it.
Yeah, you can't hear it. Start your engines. Here we go. Congratulations. Thank you again, everybody. We do have some food around back in the garage, so if anybody wants to stick around for some food, we've got brought some hamburgers for you. Uh-oh. I got something for me.